What up? What up? What up? Welcome to Lead Game episode 170. This is the average man's. What happened?
Nothing. I messed up.
Oh. This is the average man's perspective on football. I am your co-host and retired Hall of Fame fantasy football owner, Marcus. Hold on, I'm messing up.
Told you I'm not gonna do this show no more. You keep saying that.
How much is it? Oh, here we go.
I'm the GOAT.
The GOAT.
I'm the greatest of all time.
Really?
Yeah, undisputed.
Undisputed?
Next up, we got Herman. Say what up, Herman.
Hey.
You are a hater.
And last but not least, we got Mark. Say what up, Mark.
Good evening.
And me, I'm 56 years old.
Damn. I'm sorry.
As you can see, we are missing one tonight, Brian. He cannot make it tonight. We hope to see him again next week. We hope everything's cool. But we'll see you next week, Brian. Before we get started, I want to encourage everyone to like, share, and subscribe, especially watching on YouTube. You get us on Facebook group and our Facebook group, The Live Game. We're on Twitter /X, The Live Game 3. And on Instagram, it's the official The Live Game. You can also catch us simultaneously broadcasting on the Big Blue Crew Sports Network. So go on over there and check out their channel. They cover everything: football, basketball, WWE, MMA. They do it all over there. So go on over there and check out the Big Blue Crew Sports Network. Herman is hosting tonight. Go ahead and start us off, Herman.
All right. Thanks everybody for joining. We're gonna go into our normal routine. We're gonna give you some news stories of the week, and we'll hit you with our hot topics. A little discussion we'll have. We'll review last week's games, and then we will pick this week's wild card game. So sit back and enjoy and comment on the show and give us your picks if you like. So I will throw it back to Marcus with the first news story.
Thank you. Multiple NFL teams have inquired about whether legendary coach Bill Belichick would reconsider his move to college football, including the Las Vegas Raiders, whose new minority owner Tom Brady spoke recently with his old coach about what it would take to make a reunion happen in Las Vegas, per sources. In a surprise move, Belichick agreed on December 11th to a 5-year contract to become a head coach at the University of North Carolina and has spent recent weeks assembling his staff and roster for his first season coaching at the college level after nearly 5 decades in the NFL. Multiple NFL teams have inquired about whether Bill Belichick would consider his move to college football. I must have copied that twice. I'm bad. In a surprise move, Belichick covered everything twice. That's it. That's all I got. I should have reread that.
Yeah. No wonder.
I was in a hurry.
That's real interesting. I thought he made a move way too soon to go to college. It was going to be plenty of NFL.
I thought he did too. It was going to be. I think there's going to be plenty of teams. I think he might put. Coaches do it all the time. He could flake. He could flake. I'd feel sorry for North Carolina for him doing that, but it's a possibility.
I agree with you all because I thought he'd at least wait until the season pretty much goes past to find out what jobs will be available and probably make a decision then. But I thought that was I thought it was kind of crazy that he went to college anyway.
I don't see him. He's a great coach. I just don't think the way his coaching works in college is going to translate. I could be wrong, but I just don't see it. All right, I got the next news story. The Dallas Cowboys have denied permission to the Chicago Bears to interview coach Mike McCarthy, a source told ESPN's Adam Schefter on Tuesday. Multiple sources said Monday that the Bears had sought permission to speak with McCarthy regarding their head coaching vacancy. However, the Bears will interview Pete Carroll, 73, for the job on Thursday, sources told ESPN's Dan Graziano and Jeremy Fowler. Carroll has expressed interest in the job and would like to return to the sidelines in 2025, sources told Schefter last month. The Bears also requested to interview Buffalo Bills offensive coordinator Joe Brady, Schefter reported. They're also expected to interview former Titans head coach Mike Vrabel, Bears interim head coach Thomas Brown, Detroit Lions offensive coordinator Ben Johnson, and Minnesota Vikings defensive coordinator Brian Flores, among others. Bears general manager Ryan Poles, who will lead the team's coaching search, said during his season-ending news conference Tuesday that all options are on the table, including considering trading for a coach. So that's going to be interesting.
Ooh, that is weird. Trading for a coach.
Yeah, like they did.
Buying a contract out.
Yeah, basically. That's what Tampa did when Gruden left Oakland, I think, right?
Yeah, he left the Raiders.
Vice versa. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, when he left the Raiders.
Yeah. All right, we'll skip over Brian's story. And Mark?
With the AFC number 1 seed locked up, the Kansas City Chiefs rested their starters in Sunday's regular season finale against the Broncos, a game that Denver won by 38 points to clinch the final playoff spot in the conference. This was reasonable and expected thing to do with nothing at stake, putting the health of key players at risk by playing them would have been foolish and impossible. The decision has prompted fans' theories that the Chiefs intentionally threw their game against the Broncos in order to avoid facing the Cincinnati Bengals in the playoffs. Bengals head coach Zach Taylor fanned the flames of these theories Saturday night when Cincinnati beat Pittsburgh, remaining in playoff eligibility. And what's his name? He went on the him and his brother podcast and made a comment about
Travis Kelce.
Yeah, I ain't scared of effing nobody. I wanted them in the playoff in the effing playoffs. What do you say?
First of all, they would have had to have gotten past the Bills first. So you assume
right. So
you're assuming they're going to get past the Bills.
I just think it's just something to stir up some controversy for them. It's great for some off-season, back and forth with them. If they play each other again in the future. But I thought it was interesting that they.
And his idea: don't leave it in the hands of anybody else.
That's
it.
But it was the right thing to do. You had to. You
had no reason to play none of your starters. You'd have been a fool to do that. That would have been crazy. So,
I mean, the way they got beat, I don't even think they was calling. They must have put the backup coaches in there too.
Right, or third stringers or something. They're like, we can't even afford to risk our backups, so we're gonna play our third string guy.
Well, you also had Denver really having something to play for. Kansas City didn't. So they put in, Broncos put in more effort for sure.
All right. Yep. Moving on to our hot topics.
That's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
All right. Well, we're going to talk a lot about head coaching positions and well, not a lot, but in this hot topic coming up. So we're going to roll into the first part of the hot topic, I guess. Since this seems to be the biggest name out there, we're going to pose this question to the panel. Which team do you think Lions offensive coordinator Ben Johnson will end up as the head coach of next year? The openings are the Bears, the Jets, the Patriots, the Jags, the Saints, and the Raiders right now. We don't know if anything else is coming open, but at this point, probably not. So, Mark, who do you think is he'll wind up coaching?
If I go through the teams, Jets don't have a quarterback right now. Do Saints really have a quarterback right now?
They got Carr.
It's out of. I mean, they got Carr and they got Spencer Rattler, but
the Raiders could end up drafting Sanders or Cam Ward, so you can have a young quarterback there. Jags got Lawrence, that's a plus. The Bears got Caleb Williams. New England has Drake May. Out of that list, I'm going to throw my head in and say the Jags. The more experience, he's got the most experienced quarterback situation in there. Lawrence is in place. I think the Jags would be an interesting spot for him to go to with Lawrence being there. He's been around a couple of coaches before. He's not really a rookie. You can. Yeah, I think you could do a lot with Lawrence. He just got to be coached right. And the Jags got, they got a couple of things. The kid they drafted, wide receiver Thomas has been balling, been good. I still think Etienne is a back that running back that could still be serviceable there. So I'm taking the Jags, man. I think the Jags would be the most interesting spot for him to rejuvenate Sunshine's career.
Because it would almost be the same as what he's done with golf.
Absolutely,
so that's a really interesting thing. Marcus.
So I kind of have two. I have to agree with Mark. Number one, the Jags, simply because of the quarterback situation. That's probably the best quarterback situation he can go into. And just like you just finished saying, like he's done wonders with golf. And what's this guy? What's his name?
Jarek. Are you talking about Jarek? Oh,
Travis Etienne.
No,
Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence. He was also a very high draft pick. I think it was number one. He was number one overall. Mm-hmm. So that'd be good. And then of course, the next one probably would be the Bears. Even though if I was Dan Campbell, I'd be like, listen, man, we know you're hot, but don't go to our rival. But the Bears, obviously, because Caleb Williams is there, number one draft pick again. Got a wide receiver in place, got a good running game, got a good defense. If Caleb Williams is the quarterback, every generation quarterback everybody think it's going to be, if anybody can bring it out of him, it'll probably be Ben Johnson. So I would say one Jags, and only reason I put Bears number one is because, like I said, if I was Dan Campbell, I'd be like, hey man, don't go to our rival. So maybe he might take that into consideration.
I can agree with both of you guys on this one. I would probably say Ben Johnson would probably go to the Bears or the Jags, but my pick is that he's not going to go to any of these openings.
Where are you going?
He'll be right back in Detroit as the OC because Detroit's not going to win the Super Bowl, and they're going to. And then you're gonna get this. We got work to do. No, I'm just saying they're not gonna win the Super Bowl, and then you're gonna have this loyalty of we got work still left to do, and blah blah blah. Because sometimes these coordinators they just don't jump because they're the hottest coordinator, And I can see him being loyal to Campbell. So I think that he will end up at none of these spots, and that he will be back in Detroit as the offensive coordinator. That's if he does not win the Super Bowl. Let's say if they do go out and win the Super Bowl, what do you see? Then I think he's going to go to the Bears. The Bears, I believe, would be almost. He could turn them probably almost into an instant winner. They have a defense. They have an offense in place that just needs a true coordinator. I mean, they have talent on offense, a lot of talent on offense.
Yeah, they do. And you know what? And they still got a lot of cap space to play with.
They do.
They can bring in. They would need to bring in some offensive linemen in there. The biggest thing, but yeah, they got plenty of cap space to play with. So yeah. I think he. I know it's the rival, but coaches do it all the time. I mean, Dan Quinn just left us and went to the Commanders. So.
He wasn't the head coach. No, he was the coordinator. Same situation.
Same situation. Yeah. So, I mean, and what better, but now, if he wanted an easier path, it would be the Jags because that division is not as solid as the AFC North is. So it might be a little bit of an easier path going to the Jags, but I think he will take the Bears. I think you want that high profile, you know what I mean? And especially think about this, especially if they did win the Super Bowl, right? He goes to the Bears, he's going to want to knock them off the step. You know what I mean? Knock the big dog off the step. So, yeah, I think he'd go to the Bears.
I'll tell you what, it's unprecedented. It's probably unprecedented, but if I was ownership in Detroit, I'd be willing to cough out a lot of cash to keep Ben Johnson there.
I might have to agree with you on that one too.
I'd be willing to cough up a lot of cash to keep him there.
You'll have to cough up some if they don't win the Super Bowl. Well, yeah, you still have to call it. But if they win the Super Bowl, there's no way he stays. You would be a fool as offensive coordinator not to go get a head coaching job. Like they're not going to pay. I forgot. I don't know how much Dan Campbell makes a year, but literally the money that a head coach is going to make is probably going to be more now than Dan Campbell because they do theirs just like they do the players. So you can't give him more money than Dan Campbell.
That's true. That's true.
So you can't even dabble or dangle a carrot big enough, honestly, if they win the Super Bowl to keep him.
If they win the Super Bowl, I mean, he's already the hottest name out there. He's going to be super hot.
One of them.
Oh yeah,
Definitely one of them.
Through the roof. All right, let's get into this next topic, and it's kind of following up on this one. Out of the current head coaching openings that are available, list your, in your opinion, from worst to best spot. So I'll go first, and it's funny. That's interesting how I list. Okay, so my worst, number 6, is the Raiders. They are and this was close with the number 5, but the Raiders are just a laughing stock right now. Ownership is not even close to doing anything, and close to showing that they have any type of path forward of what they're doing. So Raiders at number 6. I actually have the Jets at number 5. We saw the cluster that was this year, and that I put a lot of that on Aaron Rodgers, just because he just seems like he's a poison at this point. You know what I mean? He's got front offices doing stupid stuff and getting coaches fired. People can say he didn't get Saleh fired all they want. Yeah, he did.
Take your football and go in your cave.
Yeah, exactly. So I got the Jets at number 5. Number 4, I have the Saints. They got Carr and they have what is his name? Rattler, but I don't think they really know, or have a true quarterback, and that's really important. I will say the Saints is a good organization, though, so I think that puts them above the Jets and the Raiders right now. So number 3 is actually the Jags. They do have and that's why I say it's interesting why I listed it this way. But the Jags do have a lot of talent, on offense. They have a number 1 pick quarterback who just needs to be developed. I mean, we've seen how Herbert was like, and when he got a real coach this year, Harbaugh has taken him to another level already. So somebody can get in there and do the same thing with Trevor Lawrence, I believe. Number 2, I have the Patriots. And the reason I put the Patriots above the Jags is really because of ownership. I think the Patriots have a better ownership than the Jags. They're going to go out and do what they need to get done to win. And, I mean, you see that in the fact that the coach that they supposedly groomed to replace Bill Belichick, he was one and done. Now, whether or not he got a fair shot, that's a whole nother story. I don't believe he did get a fair shot, but the Patriots are basically working on the line of we going out to get who we think is going to get us to winning next year after that. We don't have time for somebody to learn on the job. And then my number 1 is going to be the Bears. I mean, the Bears loaded up. They have a good ownership. Their front office may be a little suspect, but they loaded up. They got cap space. They loaded up last year. And I think that the problem is that they were just missing good offensive coordinator. If you look at Caleb Williams' stats, even though he hasn't looked that great, his stats are close and comparable to, believe it or not, Jaden Daniels. They are. They're very close. So if I'm a head coach, you got a young, first round draft pick with a talented offense. If you got a good offensive coordinator who can develop a quarterback, just like Jared Goff has, Ben Johnson's done with Jared Goff. I think that's the spot you want to be. So that's my order. 6 is the Raiders, 5 is the Jets, 4 is the Saints, 3 is the Jaguars, 2 the Patriots, and number 1 opening is the Bears. Marcus?
So number 6, I got the Jets. And I put them in number 6 specifically excuse me, especially if Roger stays. I don't think he will, but if he stays, they're definitely number 6. Terrible situation. If he leaves, they don't have a quarterback. They're a terrible organization. They haven't been in the playoffs in over 20 years. So terrible spot. No quarterback. Everybody knows you need a quarterback. I got number 5 is the Saints. Derek Carr's still there, but Derek Carr's always been mid his entire life, and the jury is still out on Spencer Rattler, so we don't know what quarterback we got there. Number 4, I have the Raiders. Now I put Raiders number 4 simply because they have a high draft pick. They may be able to get a quarterback, and everybody knows you need a quarterback. I got 3 the Patriots. I think they're not too far away. They got their quarterback in place. They got Drake May. They have a pretty good, decent team. They are in a terrible division. The Bills right now. The Bills. The Bills. That's what I mean. Because they're terrible if you're the Patriots, because the Bills are in your division. That's what I mean. The Bills and Josh Allen are in your division, so it's kind of a bad division to be in. But hey, they were the top dog for so long. Now you know what it feels like.
Exactly.
Number 2, got the Jags. Like we just said before, because Trevor Lawrence is there. They have a pretty decent team. You pretty much got everything in place. If you can get somebody in there to put Trevor Lawrence on the right track and get that team together, bring in an atmosphere, how you want to run the team, I think you'd be good. Number 1 is the Bears. And I agree with Sean. The Bears are a terrible organization, but they have a lot in place. They got the quarterback
organization though, or is it just they've been hiring some bad. I don't think the organization is making these bad decisions. They're leaving it up to some bad people.
They keep hiring bad coaches.
They do, but I think they might have found a good GM this time. So, but go ahead.
Yeah. So number 1 is the Bears. Caleb Williams, number 1 pick. Just need somebody to come in there and guide it along. They got to run a game. They got defense. The only thing is they're in a very rough division. Very rough division. But other than that, I think that's the best one because I think you probably got the best quarterback out of all those. So number 1 Bears.
Mark.
Yeah, I think we all agree on rounding up the number 6 is the Jets. Dysfunctional. That's all I can say about them. My 5th one I have is the Saints. Little cap space to play with. Not really. I don't. Like you said, I don't think they really found their quarterback quite yet. Between what they have, believe it or not, the Raiders is number 4 for me. They got a little bit of cap space to play with, believe it or not.
But they have nothing.
Well,
they got a high draft pick. They might be able to get a quarterback.
They can get a quarterback though. They can get a quarterback.
He ain't gonna have nobody to throw to or protect them. But go ahead.
Number 3, I have the Jags. Situation with Trevor Lawrence. They got a quarterback in place. You just gotta get somebody to coach him up properly. Now I'm gonna have to flip flop the New England and Chicago deal. I got Chicago number 2. The reason why, and you guys have stated it too, New England has over 133 million cap availability. The Bears have 83. With the ownerships that the New England has, he will go out and spend the money and get the talent. So therefore, I got the Bears 2nd. I've got New England as the number 1.
They got too many holes, though.
They do, but they got the most cap money to go out there and spend it on some folks. So they do have the ability, and you got an owner who ain't afraid to do it. He not afraid. He's the one to say, hey, look, I'm gonna order up all these groceries. And tell you what, you go ahead and cook it. But he gets them. He'll get the players.
I could see just because of ownership, I could see why you would trump the Patriots over the Bears. I could agree with that, honestly. I just think the Bears have way more talent right now.
Yeah, I agree. Way more talent.
Yeah, like way more. So, all right, interesting. All right, so our last topic, and I guess this will be quick. We're gonna power rank basically the playoff teams in the AFC and then in the NFC. You want to do AFC first, discuss it, and then AFC and then NFC.
Yeah, we can
That
do
way?
AFC first.
We can do that.
All right.
Yeah.
Marcus, you can go ahead and go first with the AFC.
So for my seating, my ranking, I have the Broncos last. Then I because they needed help getting in. That's why I have them last. They needed help. The Steelers I have 6. They didn't need help getting in. They're going in looking very bad, but they didn't need any help getting in.
The Broncos didn't need help getting in. They were winning in, weren't they? I thought they were just winning in.
No, because of the Bengals.
They needed one other team to lose and win, and they need to win. So if they would have lost a tiebreaker, I think, to the Bengals. They would have lost it.
No, they had.
So they didn't control it all the way.
I thought they did, but okay, I'm sorry.
No, because Miami would have won.
It was Miami.
Yeah,
maybe
okay, yeah. I know it was somebody else. Somebody who had it above him.
I have the Texans above the Steelers. Actually, I'm looking at this now. I probably should have put them below the Steelers because the Texans are looking very bad, but they're above because they actually won the division. But I see the Texans and Steelers are pretty much the same. That's a tie for 6th place right there. Texans and Steelers. They both going in looking bad, and I think both gonna be one and done. Then I got the Chargers, and then I actually have the Bills at number 3. The Ravens at number 2, and you say, but the Bills have a better record. But the Ravens killed the Bills earlier this season. I think the Ravens are a better
I didn't
team.
hear what do you had the Broncos at?
Last. They're last.
Okay.
And then, of course, I got the Chiefs at number 1. So basically, 1 Chiefs, 2 Ravens, 3 Bills, 4 Chargers. Tied for 5th is Texans and Steelers, and number 6 is Broncos.
Okay, so like Sean said, I was right. They just needed to win because the Bengals needed them to lose. Yeah.
Okay, then I put the Broncos above the Steelers then, and actually the Texans. I put them above the Steelers and the Texans.
Okay, I'll go next. So I'm sorry, Mark, but I have the Steelers at number 7.
Hey,
four game losing streak. I mean, they're in there, but they're going into the playoffs the worst possible way you can go into the playoffs. Just lose. Just is what it is. Yeah.
But on their side, this was predicted. Everybody was saying this at the beginning that last month was going to be hard for them.
I don't care. I mean, you can't peak early and then flatline at the end of the season. It just doesn't work. Cowboys do it all the time. It doesn't work. So I got to get the Steelers number 7. Number 6, I'm going to say the Broncos because they had to win to get in, and that's what they did. And they've been a little hot lately, the Broncos have. So I have to put them above the Steelers. At number 5, I have the Texans. They're not playing good football. I feel like they peaked early and they've been crashing down. But in their defense, they've lost their top 2 wide receivers. True. And their tight end is trash. So
you are a hater.
Every chance I get. So you just and they're trying to say, this Stroud, is he having this sophomore slump? Is this step up? No, he lost his weapons. He lost his weapons, and his run game's not picking it up either. So I got to go with the Texans at number 5. Number 4, I got the Chargers. I wouldn't want to play the Chargers going into the playoffs right now because Harbaugh's got them winning, and they look like a very dangerous team. Number 3, I got the Bills. The Bills are hot. Bills been playing pretty good football. But I had to put them in number 3 because I got the Ravens at number 2. We know that run game in Lamar is just ridiculous. And then, of course, number 1, they're the champs. Until they're not the champs, they're number 1 in whatever type of ranking I give them. So that's my order. Mark?
Yeah, sadly, I have to say I've got the Steelers at number 7. We just been in a slump. I've got the Texans as number 6. The Chargers, I don't think nobody really want to play the Chargers at number 5. I've got the Broncos at number 4. I've got the Bills at number 3. I've got the Ravens at number 2. And as we all said, Chiefs are the Chiefs on top until they get beaten. So it's the
Yeah.
Chiefs as number 1.
Yeah, the Broncos at what?
The Broncos are having number 4
Above the the
Above-
Chargers.
above the Chargers,
Wow.
above the Texans, and above the Steelers. That's going to be a hard team to play.
Interesting. Okay. All right, let's flip it over to the NFC side. Let's just go in the same order. Marcus, you can go first.
So I got the Bucks last. They limped in. Then I got the Rams. Actually, you know what?
What?
You know what? I'm changing it around. I got the Bucks, then the Packers. The Packers pretty much limped in as well. They lost the last game. Then I got the Rams. Then I have a number 4. The Commanders. They went in hot.
You knew he was going with it. You knew he was
went in
going
hot.
with it.
They went in hot.
Okay.
And in the
Hot
season
trash.
12, they end the season 12-5.
Hot trash.
I feel they went in hot trash.
Hot trash. You
They
should
went
be
in hot.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, they had one of the best records in the NFC. 12-5.
You should be very concerned with the way that your team played the sorry Cowboys the last game of the week.
Look, I can't
And-
help
and
it.
your
If-
starters were in.
If they
Your
like to wait
starters
till the
were
last
in.
minute to win,
No.
it's not my fault. They
Wait till-
like to
okay.
wait till the last minute to win.
Hot trash.
Okay.
That defense is
But
about
they
to get
went in
run
hot.
all over.
They went in
Defense about to
hot.
get run all over.
Okay, it's not my fault. They like to wait till the last minute to win games.
Keeping it nice
they
and
do.
warm right here.
Okay. But they're number 4. Number 3, I got the Vikings. Number 2, I got the Eagles, and of course, number 1, got the Lions. Best team in the NFC. Second best team in the NFL.
All right. Let me give you the real rankings, okay? Because
If you got my Commanders number 7, I'm gonna come to the screen and slap you.
This dude here. I'm just being legit realistic, okay?
I know you ain't got my Commanders at number 7 with a 12-5 record.
After what I saw on Sunday, I got the Commanders at the number 17. Okay. Y'all was getting run up and down the field by a third string quarterback and a running back who
I've been telling you our
first year
defense is
start.
suspect all season.
patchwork, exactly, a patchwork line, and y'all was getting run up and down the field. The only reason Dallas didn't beat y'all is because we couldn't score in the red zone. So yes, you earned the number 7 ranking. Take it.
That's
Okay.
That
It's
is
not.
that's blasphemy.
It's not blasphemy.
12-5 record. How are we number 7? We got a
are
better
number
record than the
7.
Packers, the Rams, and the Bucks.
Doesn't matter. You're number 7. Your team looked bad. You just look bad. Okay. And you said yourself just now that your defense is bad, and everybody knows defense wins championships. Yeah, you did
Hey,
still win.
We've been saying the same thing about Detroit's defense.
You
I
did
bet
still
you're
win.
number 1. I bet you're number
But
1.
your offense ain't nowhere near Detroit's offense, so don't even try. Their offense can compensate.
we won the highest scoring offense in the league.
Their
we up
offense
there.
can compensate. So
Okay,
okay,
we in
number
the top 10,
7.
maybe top 5.
Number 7 is the Commanders. well deserved. Number 6 is the Bucks. Okay. Number 5 is the Packers. The Packers have been getting a little hot lately. They've started to ratchet it up a little bit. So number 5 is the Packers. Number 4 is the Rams. I got the Eagles at number 3. I got the Vikings at number 2. And I got the Lions at number 1. So see, I'm not a hater. I gave I gave the Lions their credit because I could have thrown them down the list too. And
They just beat the Vikings.
I don't care. I still could have picked the Vikings because I think the Vikings are a better team. The Vikings just couldn't
They just
score
whooped-
in the red zone.
They held your MVP to no touchdowns.
It was all red zone. That's coaching. If you can't score in the red zone, that's coaching. That's coaching. Mark, let's hear your list.
My number 7 in the NFC, I have the Bucks. The number 6, I have the Commanders. Number 5,
One
I've
too
got the
high.
Rams. Number 4, I've got the Packers.
Got a better record than the Packers.
Number 3, I've got the Vikings. Number 2, the Eagles. And number 1 is the Detroit Lions.
You do realize that the Commanders had a
You do
everybody-
realize-
we got the best record except for the Lions, Eagles, and Vikings.
You realize that
Now we got number 4.
the Commanders only beat one winning team this year?
Like, we can't help with the put in front.
Nah, I don't want to hear.
We got the best record. We got a better record than the Packers, Rams,
And you're
and
still
the Bucks.
lower. You're still one of the easiest teams to beat in the playoffs. So just deal
All right,
with it.
we'll see.
All right. those are our hot topics. Those ran a little long because y'all some long-winded dudes, but it's fine. We'll fly through the games because some of these games we're talking about. Let me get to the games here. All right. First game up on the schedule. We had the
Cleveland Ravens.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, that's it. Okay, so thank you. Sorry. We had the the Cleveland Browns going into Baltimore to take on the Ravens. This one wasn't even close. Ravens had way more to play for. They won this one 35-10. Lamar Jackson was 16 for 32, 217 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. Derrick Henry, 20 carries, 138 yards, 2 touchdowns. Bateman was a leading receiver, 5 receptions for 78 yards, 1 touchdown. On the flip side, Bailey Zappi, 16 for 31, 170 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Foreman, 10 carries for 27 yards. And Jerry Jeudy, 6 receptions for 63 yards. Time of possession, Baltimore had the time of possession 31 minutes to 28 minutes. Cleveland just couldn't stay on the field. They were 4 for 12 on third down efficiency. I'll go first on this one. I picked the Ravens, and I got this one right. Like I said, this game wasn't much to talk about. Mark, who'd you have?
You almost didn't sound too confident in that one.
I had to look and make sure I picked the Ravens,
Hey, man, this game was clearly giving the kids some food, and they playing with it in the first couple of minutes, first half. By the third quarter, they eating it up. That was the Ravens, man.
Yeah.
They ran away with this thing when it was all said and done. I took the Ravens on this one, and they done it.
Marcus?
Yeah, I also picked the Ravens. Browns had Zappy starting. What do you think the Ravens were going to do? They were playing hard. They really wanted to win that division. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, they did.
They were playing hard. Lamar took some hits I don't think he should have took. But
yeah, at some point during the game, the score was. I was like, why are they still in? Because it was pretty much in hand at one point during the game. Like it was like late third quarter or something like that.
Yeah,
they went to the Dan Campbell School of Football. Is what they did.
Yeah, basically. All right, and we all picked the Ravens on this one, so we all got that one right. Moving on to the next game, we had the Bengals going into Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers. The Bengals won this one 19-17. Joe Burrow was 37 for 46, 277 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Khalil Herbert was 20 carries for 69 yards, and Jamar Chase 10 receptions for 96 yards and 1 touchdown. On the flip side, Russell Wilson, 17 for 31, 148 yards passing, 1 touchdown. Najee Harris, 12 carries for 36 yards, 1 touchdown. And Freiermuth, 8 receptions for 85 yards and 1 touchdown. Time of possession in this one, Bengals dominated time of possession 38 minutes to Pittsburgh's 22 minutes. Marcus, who'd you have in this one? Oh, let me see. Brian picked the Bengals. We all picked the Bengals. So Marcus, you picked the Bengals. Why?
I mean, we knew Pittsburgh wasn't playing good. They weren't going to beat the Bengals. Bengals had something to play for. I picked the Bengals and they won.
Yeah, I picked the Bengals in this one too. I pretty much stated my I'm not picking Cleveland. I mean, I'm not picking Pittsburgh anymore. Sorry, Mark. Bama's look terrible. It's they don't have it's no run game. And Russell Wilson, I feel like I'm watching Russell Wilson his last couple of years in Seattle, where he's just back there running for his life again. It's just, I don't know what's going on. I think it's the lack of a run game. Pickens was dropping balls left and right.
That's what it was. It was Pickens dropping balls.
It was part of that too. But I did pick the Bengals, and I got this one right. Brian picked the Bengals. Mark, you want to go ahead and wrap that up?
Yeah, I took the Bengals in this one too, man. I didn't have a lot of confidence. I'm just going to say this. Luckily for us, we won 10 games earlier in the season.
Mm-hmm.
That's what gave us the break to be able to get in the playoffs. I think this game was a lot closer than what it was initially, because Pittsburgh kind of blew it towards the end by situation football. They blew it. Not calling timeouts, reserving the time at the end. They got lucky and had a break when they got the muffed punt, but they couldn't do anything with it. Drop passes, Pickens dropping a pass. You had Freiermuth dropped a pass. Whether or not we would have got it or not at the end, I don't know, but still, we failed ourselves. So I'm just glad to say that I'm lucky we won 10 games early. I was at one of those games that we won early against the Commanders. But anyway, I took the Bengals.
Yeah, I think if they can find a run game, maybe it'll help. I think Russ is getting to that point where he's doing too much, trying to do too much.
Herman, what the saddest part for me is? We in the playoffs and I'm not excited.
Yeah. I mean, anything can happen though, but at least you're there.
Herman, I'm not excited.
I get it. Trust me, I get it. I'm going to answer your question, Sean. No, I do not think that it's time for Tomlin to go anywhere. I think that they need to go out. Honestly, you know what they need to do? If they're going to keep Russell Wilson this offseason or whatever they're going to do at quarterback, they need to go get T. Higgins. They need to have 2 legit wide receivers. Your run game will open up. The tight end position passing to the tight end will open up. They've never had a prolific offense like that I can really think of where you couldn't just say, all right, we're going to shut down a part of this offense and then we're okay, when you go in to defend it. So, Mark, what you think?
They need to find an offense somewhere. Their defense have played well enough to keep them in games pretty much all through the season, except for I think the Kansas City kind of stumped on us. But they've got to find a way to score some points. They can't score.
So do you think it's time for Tomlin to go?
No, I don't think it's time for Tomlin to go. No, I don't. But there's a lot of clamor in Pittsburgh about it. But no, I don't feel it.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. Marcus, what do you think?
So let me say this: Tomlin is an excellent coach, one of the greatest coaches of our time. I'm going to look at the Andy Reid model. At some point, it was time for him to leave Philadelphia, and he went to Kansas City, and look what happened.
You got a point.
It may be time just for him to move on. He'll be fired. He'll be hired the next day. But best believe that he will be hired the very next day.
That is the argument a lot of folks have about the situation with him is that.
And so
Andy
also,
Reid,
and not only Andy Reid, but Tony Dungy. He was doing good in Tampa Bay when the Indianapolis won Super Bowl.
Yeah, but he could never get over that hump. Yeah, same thing. You're right.
So
yeah.
Like I said, it's not a reflection on Tomlin at all. Wonderful coach, Hall of Fame coach, but it may be just time for a new place.
That's an interesting.
I just don't want to see him in Dallas.
Don't worry, you ain't got to worry about that.
Good.
Jerry ain't gonna never do that. Don't get me started on that dude. All right, let's move on to the next one. Let's do this one. This should be quick. Broncos traveling into Kansas City. Kansas City traveling into Denver to take on the Broncos. The Broncos won this one 38-0. We talked about it earlier. The Chiefs basically played nobody. They played all their third stringers, it seemed like. Bo Callahan was 26 for 29, 321 yards passing, 4 touchdowns. Bo Callahan was also the leading rusher for the Broncos, 7 carries for 47 yards. Cortland Sutton, 5 receptions for 98 yards and 1 touchdown. On the flip side, Carson Wentz was 10 for 17, 98 yards. Steele was 8 carries for 25 yards. And Remigio was leading receiver, 2 receptions for 48 yards. Time of possession, good grief. The Broncos 41 minutes to the Chiefs 18 minutes. Man, that's crazy. Mark, who'd you have in this one?
I took the Broncos in this one. Kansas City really didn't have anything to play with. The Broncos had some long extending drives. They had a lot of long drives. They ate up the clock in where you want to get shook. What?
Yeah.
What?
I don't know what he was doing on this one.
The boy wasn't playing. Anyway, Yeah, the Broncos, and I thought, and Broncos aren't scared of Kansas City at all. At all.
Well, I wouldn't be scared of
They're not scared of that version of Kansas City.
Right.
That version.
Okay. Anyway, I took the Broncos, and they won it.
Yeah, so Brian had the Broncos also, and I also had the Broncos too, because we knew Kansas City wasn't going to play any starters. They had nothing to play for, and the Broncos had everything to play for. And, that's the game where you're just going to win that game. So I had the Broncos. Marcus?
You big dummy. You big dummy. You big dummy. You big cold-blooded dummy. You big dummy. See what you did? Oh, no, you big dummy.
So I picked the Chiefs. I figured, and I knew they weren't starting their starters, but I expected just coaching alone and scheme and all that. I thought there was going to be some kind of effort. I didn't know it was going to be that. I didn't know it was going to be like that. But in hindsight, I probably should have picked the Broncos. That's my opinion.
I mean, Andy Reid, he actually pulled out the daggone vanilla preseason game plan and stuff, man.
That's what I think. They would at least beat them on scheme and
nope.
try new plays. They did nothing. They just totally preseason that game.
Yeah.
So I picked the Chiefs and I was wrong.
All right, moving on to the next one. We had the Seattle Seahawks traveling into LA to take on the Rams. The Seahawks won this one 30-25. Geno Smith was 20 for 27, 223 yards passing and 4 touchdowns. And I believe that Geno hit like 3 incentives or something like that and made like the extra $3 million.
He made $6 million. Was it
$6 million? Okay,
yep,
$6 million.
$2 million for each.
Okay, I thought it was one. All right. So congratulations, Geno, on that one, even though you're not going to the playoffs. Charbonnet was 14 carries for 59 yards, and then Fant was the leading receiver, 5 receptions for 63 yards. On the flip side, the Rams had nothing to play for, so they did rest their starters. So Jimmy Garoppolo played 27 for 41, 334 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Rivers was 12 carries for 48 yards, and Whittington, I think is his name, 3 receptions for 86 yards. Whittington, sorry. Time of possession was pretty close, 31 minutes LA to 28 minutes Seattle. This is one of them games where you see Geno does really good when you don't have him ask him to do too much and he doesn't throw too much. About that 27 to 30, 35 pass attempts, he usually in that good range. So I'll start with this one. Myself and Brian, we both picked the Rams. I didn't know that the Rams weren't playing the starters.
No, we told you they weren't playing. I told you they weren't playing. What's that?
Okay. No, that's my excuse. Shut up. But I thought the Rams may have had something to play for. I guess I don't know. Maybe I guess I didn't. I don't know. I just thought that they
couldn't have improved their spot. That's what I was thinking. I guess not.
I guess not. But I thought the Rams would beat them, and I was wrong. So, but this was a this wasn't one of them blowout games like we saw with Kansas City. This one was actually competitive. But I did pick the Rams and got this one wrong. Me and Brian.
The Rams actually had more yards than
Seattle did. They did. Yep, 403 yards to total yards to 336 total yards.
And led the time of possession too.
Mm-hmm. Let's see what. Seattle didn't have a third down attempt, I guess, or fourth down. I'm sorry. They were 6 for 11 on third downs. Yeah. Mark, who'd you have in this one?
I took Seattle, but I would say I did change up after I find out that the quarterback wasn't started, so they were playing Garoppolo. So I mean they said the starters, they didn't have a whole lot to play for. So I figured Seattle. I didn't know going into this game that Geno had all these incentives, so it was more. Yeah. It's more reason for him to go and ball out and do well.
Sure was.
But I took Seattle. They won it.
And Marcus?
He also took Seattle. Like I said, as soon as I found out Stafford wasn't playing, they were sitting people. I figured Seattle could win that game, and I was right.
All right. Moving on to the next one. We had the Miami Dolphins traveling into New York to take on the Jets. The Dolphins did have something to play for. At least they were hoping to have something to play for. They lost this one 20-32. Aaron Rodgers was 23 for 36, 274 yards passing, 4 touchdowns and 1 interception. Bryce Hall, 12 carries for 57 yards, and Devontae Adams, 6 receptions for 88 yards and 1 touchdown. On the flip side, Tyler Huntley was 25 for 41, 227 yards passing, 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions. David Achane was 11 carries for 121 yards and 1 touchdown. And Smith was 9 receptions for 56 yards and 1 touchdown. Time of possession on this one actually went to the Dolphins, 32 minutes to 27 minutes. And the third down efficiency, 3 for 12 for the Dolphins and 5 for 12 for the Jets. Mark, who'd you have in this one?
I took the Dolphins on this one, man. I thought they were playing for their playoff lives on this one. But Aaron Rodgers became the 5th player in NFL history to throw for 500 touchdowns. So he made history on his way out as a Jet. But I didn't think that the Jets would pull us out. Miami lost it, and I took Miami.
Marcus, who'd you have?
He also took Miami. I'm not even sure. I didn't know that Tua wasn't playing, but like I said, Miami had something to play for. They couldn't pull it out. They let the sorry old Jets come in there and beat them. And I was wrong.
Yeah, I had Miami. We all had Miami. We were all wrong. The Jets, I figured they had packed up the U-Hauls at that point, but I guess they wanted to try to prove a point since it was a division rival. So Tyreek Hill put some information out that he's done with Miami, so I guess he's a free agent now, or he will be, or whatever he wants to be. So we'll see how that goes. But yep, I did pick the Dolphins, and I got that one wrong. All right, last game of the week, the Sunday night game. This was supposed to be the big showdown between two 14-2 teams. Didn't turn out to be the showdown that everybody thought. The Vikings went into Detroit and got mollywopped by the Lions, 31-9. Jared Goff was 27 for 33, 231 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Jahmyr Gibbs, 23 carries, 139 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 6 receptions for 77 yards. On the flip side, Sam Darnold was 18 for 41, 166 yards. Akers carried 6 carries for 65 yards, and Jefferson 3 receptions for 54 yards. Time of possession went to Detroit on this one, 36 minutes to the Vikings, 23 minutes. Penalties, the Lions 8 penalties for 49 yards. Vikings 6 penalties for 30 yards. Actually, crazy enough was that Detroit turned the ball over twice in this game, compared to Vikings 0 turnovers. So, me and Brian got this one wrong. Thank you, Brian, for helping me out on this one and not making
You are a hater.
No, I wasn't hating. I really thought that they're on a tear, and everybody's been Minnesota's been very underrated. Minnesota's still going to do some damage in the playoffs. Don't be surprised if we see this matchup again. I wouldn't be surprised. But like I said, they got mollywopped. I mean, they just could not convert in the red zone. It was ridiculous. It just was. And Jefferson dropped a few. Darnold was their line was just leaking, man. Darnold was high on a lot of passes because he was under duress the whole game. One big key for Detroit was they got back their linebacker.
Alonzo.
Yeah,
we struggled with him.
Yeah, exactly. Him. He broke his arm earlier in the season. He came back, and it made a huge difference for Detroit. Huge difference. Jared Goff was on point. No, I take that back. He wasn't, because he turned the ball over twice. Vikings just took advantage of it. But I picked the Vikings, and I got this one wrong, and Brian picked them too. Marcus, who'd you have in this one?
Of course, I picked Detroit, the Lions, the eventual going to be in Super Bowl 59. I think it is 59. That's who's going to be there. Chiefs and the Lions. Just like I called beginning of the season, Lions will be there. It just seemed like Detroit. They just did that old Madden Engage 8 blitz all game. It just
like Aaron Glenn just set him on the table like.
You say he did a Madden blitz the whole game. Go get him.
Go get him. And Donald. He saw ghosts again. He wasn't.
He wasn't himself.
He wasn't himself. Like you said, he didn't throw any picks, but he just missed some passes. And I got to give it to Ben Johnson, man. A lot of he be them little short passes across the middle, boy. They was really tearing him up on those short passes. That worked really good for him. Detroit just had a better game plan than Minnesota this game. It will be interesting to see if they meet in the NFC Championship game. We'll see, but I picked Detroit and I feel vindicated.
And Mark.
Yeah, I took Detroit on this one also. It didn't start out like it was going to be this way, but Minnesota will make some history, though, because they'll be the first 14-win wild card team. Can you believe that?
Yeah, that is crazy.
But yeah, I took the Lions.
All right. So now we are going to move into the wild card weekend.
You didn't ask what our result was for the week.
What was your results for the week? Sorry.
4-2.
I was 3-3. Mark
4-2.
4-2. Yeah, I forgot y'all picked the same. So y'all usually got the same. Right. All right, let's move into this wild card weekend, fellas. The playoffs are here. Season's gone already. We in the playoffs now. So we got the first game we're picking. We got the 11-6 Chargers traveling into Houston to take on the 10-7 Texans. The Chargers are actually road favorites in this one, 2.5 points. The predictor has the Chargers at 53%. Marcus, who you got on this one?
I am picking the Chargers. I don't have much faith in the Texans right now. Like I said, I think they're going in weak. Like you said, they have no wide receivers. Chargers looking good. They got Harbaugh. I'm picking the Chargers.
Mark, who you got?
For some reason, man, I'm going back the old school way. I'm thinking about when the Chargers was in San Diego. They had this song, San Diego, go Chargers. I'm taking the Chargers.
Really? And did I get my pick?
No, I think you did.
Okay, so I'm going with the Chargers also, and Brian is going with the Chargers also. So we are all in accord on this one, fellas. All right, so Chargers are going to make us all look smart or real stupid. Moving into the next game, we got the 10-7 Steelers traveling into Baltimore to take on the 12-5 Ravens. Wow. Steelers are 8.5-point favors at home. I wonder if that's one of the biggest home playoff spreads we've seen. I don't know.
It's the biggest one for this week.
That's pretty big. Yes, that's a little disrespectful. 72%. The Ravens. The predictor has the Ravens winning at 72%. I would give Brian's pick. Brian picked the Ravens. Mark, you know how I feel about your Steelers, so I'm not even going to have to say it again. Give me the Ravens. Marcus?
I might have to pick the Ravens. Even though I don't think this is not going to be the blowout that they're predicting. Until very recently, the Steelers had Lamar Jackson's number. So I think they're going to be no 8.5, but Ravens on they're going to pull this one out. They can't afford not to.
All right, Mark, let's hear it. Come on, man. It's the playoffs. You can't do it. Got to do it.
Now, the last game they played, it was pretty tight until you had that fumble and interception. It's going to be another tight game, but the Steelers going to be one and done. Give me the Ravens.
Wow. See, Marcus, that's how a true fan picks. He's picking for the show. He's not fanboying. He's picking.
Ain't nobody fanboying right here. I'm going with the facts.
You definitely fanboying. All right. Moving on to the next game.
You are.
We got We got the 11-6 Packers traveling into Philly to take on the 14-3 Eagles. Eagles are 3.5 point. I'm sorry, I skipped a game. Let me go back up. I'll just go back to that game. The one I picked since I already gave these stats. Eagles are 3.5 point home favorites. The predictor has the Eagles winning 52% of the time. So, Mark, who do you have in this one?
I got a question. What's the deal on
I know what your question is.
Love's arm, man? Is he gonna be okay to play?
I assume. I haven't heard he's not playing. And I think the spread would be a lot higher if he was.
Maybe that's not who you need to be asking about. You should be asking about Jalen Hurts.
He's playing.
Jalen Hurts, another one who's
he's played the concussion protocol.
I
right,
believe so. Yeah, I think he did.
Both quarterbacks a little. I'm still gonna take the Eagles though. I'm taking the Eagles.
Marcus, who you got in this one?
Yeah, I gotta take the Eagles. Like I said, I don't have much confidence in the Packers. To me, they're going in playoffs week, which is not good. So I'm taking the Eagles.
Yeah, it's tempting. It's tempting. It's tempting. Give me the Eagles. I can't see the Packers pulling this one off. It's possible, but I can't see it. And Brian, he also picked the Eagles.
Oh, your teammate says Philadelphia is one and done.
I want to believe it, but I think
he's speaking with his heart.
Yeah, the Eagles can win this one off of Saquon alone, probably.
Probably so.
So that's why I'm not going to pick against them. I would love to pick against them, but I'm not going to do it. Because I honestly think the Eagles will win this game. All right. So this is the one I skipped. I'm sorry. We had the 10-7 Broncos traveling into Buffalo to take on the 13-4 Bills. The Bills are 8-point home favorites. The predictor has the Bills winning 68% of the time. I'll start this one off. Give me the Bills. You gave a valiant effort, Broncos, but you're going to be one and done. But hey, you made it to the playoffs with a rookie quarterback, first year with the head coach. So I think that Bo Callahan will have a lot more players at his birthday party next year. Brian is also picking the Bills. Mark, who you got in this one?
Yeah, I think the Broncos are going to have a violent effort. I think they're going to put up a fight. But, they're going to leave this game with the Bills winning. And it's going to be, like you said, it's a great effort for a rookie quarterback with a first-year coach. They got something to build on, but I got the Bills in this one.
And Marcus.
Yeah, I'm going to have to take the Bills. Bills is a better team. Josh Allen, he's having an MVP year. Even though I think he should get it. I think Lamar should get it, but he'd probably get it. And they're going into Buffalo. Bills Mafia is going to be loud and uproar, smashing tables, jumping through tables. Buffalo definitely wins this game.
All right, moving on to the next one.
Sean, you've never seen Draft Day?
If you haven't watched Draft Day, you have to watch Draft Day.
Hey, what was funny is I say I'm surprised nobody ever answers that question yet. But there you go.
Please watch Draft Day, Sean.
Draft Day, Sean. Draft Day.
It is a great football movie.
Bo Nix is Bo Callahan, Sean.
Yeah, Bo Nix is Bo Callahan. All right. Next game up, we have the 12-5 Commanders traveling into Tampa to take on the 10-7 Bucks. The Bucks are 2.5-point home favorites, and the predictor has the Bucks winning 59% of the time. Mark, well, let me go to Brian first. Brian has picked the Bucks. Mark, I will let you pick next. Who do you have?
Believe it or not, man, I'm gonna take the Commanders on this one. I think Commanders gonna pull this out.
You just refuse, don't you? Oh, Brian, if you're watching, man, these dudes, I can't with them, man. I swear. I swear. I'm going with the Bucks. Commanders defense they're just not there. They're just not there for the playoffs. Y'all stop fanboying. Your team didn't beat. They beat one winning team. One winning team. Stop fanboying. So give me the Bucks. But hey, I will give you this, man. Jaden Daniels, I'm impressed. He looks like a great quarterback. Rookie year, gone to the playoffs. He does. He looks really good. Like, I've seen this movie before. I hope it doesn't end the same way that I saw it in the last time.
It's not the same. Not the same.
But if it don't, I'm going to say this: the NFC East is going to look like the NFC North come next year, probably. Well, yeah, 3 teams because the Giants are not going nowhere yet. So, but give me the Bucks in this one, Marcus. We already know who you're picking. Just go ahead and fanboy out.
You know, I'm picking my Commanders. We're going to win this game. We're going to go into Tampa Bay. We're going to win it on the very last play of the game, but we're going to win it. We're going to the divisional round. Commanders all day.
Are you going to watch it?
I'm going to have to. I may go in and out. I may watch it. I may not watch it. I don't know.
All right.
It's stressful for me.
You have to watch it, man. You got to watch it.
You know, I got high blood pressure. I can't. The games be killing me. The games is bad for health.
All right. Last game of the wild card weekend. We got the last game we're picking. I don't know. It's not necessarily the last game. We got the 14-3 Vikings traveling into LA to take on the 10-7 Rams. The Vikings are 2.5-point favorites in this one, road favorites, but the Rams are the predictor has the Rams winning it by 54%. So, Marcus,
That's
who you
weird.
got in this one? That is weird, isn't it?
As I'm saying, that's weird. I'm taking the Rams. I believe in McVay and Matthew Stafford. Vikings got exposed last week. One and done. The Rams.
Mark?
You know, the Rams beat them earlier this season. It'll be a tough one, but I'm taking the Vikings. Give me the Vikes on this one.
All right, Mark. Well, you're not alone on this one, buddy, because at least one team on the road team is gonna win on wild card weekend. That's about usually, I think, what it boils down to. So I'm going with the Vikings with you. Y'all already know. I already told y'all Vikings are that sleeper team that even though they're 14-2 or whatever, and they got mollywopped on Monday night, they're gonna fix that. So give me the Vikings. Not to mention they're playing. You know, they're going. A road game to LA is not even like a road game.
That's true.
You know what I mean? They could very well have home field advantage. Okay, so definitely give me the Vikings. So, all right, those are the wild card weekend games. We'll go ahead and roll into our final thoughts, and then we'll get up out of here. Mark, you got a final thought for us?
I do. I just want to send a special happy birthday to my big man, Big John, Jonathan Smith, my nephew. The day is his birthday, 28th birthday of his life. I love you, Big John. Just want to wish you a happy birthday, man.
All right. Well, then, if we're throwing out birthday shout outs, I'll go ahead and throw out a birthday shout out to my sister. Her birthday was yesterday. Happy birthday, Monica.
Happy
Love
birthday,
you,
Monica.
sis. Hope you enjoyed it. Looking forward to some good football this weekend, some good playoff football. Got the couch ready for y'all. Y'all know who it's ready for.
Hey, I'll be the next one sitting over there. I'll tell you that.
Oh,
now.
don't worry. Commanders will be there with you.
You are a hater.
You are a hater.
They coming. They coming, definitely. I'm warming it up. So everybody enjoy this weekend's games. Marcus, I'll throw it to you for your final thought, and you can get us out of here.
So I have 2 final thoughts today. First final thought is I deny all allegations that I offered anyone on this panel $1.5 million for the buttons.
Here we go.
I deny
Here we go.
My second final thought is I deny any allegations that I slept with anyone on this panel to get my position as producer.
This dude.
Oh
you need to
my
stop.
gosh.
You need to stop.
I just want to deny those allegations up front.
This dude here. Wow.
That being said, I want to encourage everyone to like, share, and subscribe, especially watching on YouTube. You can catch us on Facebook and our Facebook group, The Layer Game. We're on Twitter /X at The Layer Game 3 and on Instagram at The Official Layer Game. We're also simultaneously broadcasting on the Big Blue Crew Sports Network, so go on over there and check them out. They cover everything, not just football, wrestling, boxing, MMA, basketball. They do it all. That's the Big Blue Crew Sports Network. So go on over there and check them out. We will see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Peace. We out.
Peace.